Hey guys, hi, welcome back once again. My name is Vaishali, and today I'd once again like to talk about happiness, joy, and well being. Now, almost all of us, at least in my assumption, wants to experience happiness, joy, and well being. And that is why we try and do everything possible within our power to make it happen for ourselves. And in my understanding as well, I don't think there's anyone who doesn't want all of these for themselves, but would rather want to be sad, but would rather want to experience grief almost all the time, and would want disease and illness for themselves. And so, if we objectively look at that just as a witness to something, we'd also understand, we'd also get that acceptance that on the implicit level, we all are trying to walk towards that, even run or chase that. The feeling of happiness, joy, and well being, the feeling of belonging and of feeling loved. And yet implicitly we are still not there. Though of course we must have had experiences or moments of experiences wherein we have felt all of these emotions, wherein we have felt belonged, wherein we have felt a sense of connection and belonging with somebody or a few people, wherein we have experienced true joy, happiness, and well being. And so, in keeping with that, I'd asked a few people within the age bracket of 17 years to people even in their 70s to give me a list of 100 moments wherein they felt well connected, wherein they had experienced happiness, wherein they had felt most loved in life. And the reactions or the responses, whichever it might have been, that I received were 100 moments? Isn't that asking for a little too much? Somebody even said, why do you ask such difficult questions? Somebody even tried to negotiate and ask me if they can probably give me 10 to 12. And of course, there were a few people, very few in number, who were specifically able to tell me those moments wherein they experienced happiness, those moments wherein they felt loved. They were able to recollect those moments wherein that experience became a personalized experience for them. It was their customized version of happiness and of feeling loved. There were some others who did not give me their personal moments because maybe they were too personal for them, but they gave me an essay kind of a thing. And there were a few others from whom I got no answers, from whom I got nothing in return, which made me kind of reflect and think as to why all of those reactions or responses were there. Why would somebody say, why do I ask such difficult questions? Why would somebody not give me moments, their personal understanding, their personal experiences, but rather give me an essay kind of a thing? Why would somebody say 100 moments? Aren't you asking for a little too much? And why would somebody not respond to that at all? That made happiness personal to them, that made joy, that made connection, that made love very personal to them. Do they not want to feel connected? Do they not want to experience those moments again and probably more often? Are they so disconnected with themselves that they don't even want to reflect on that? Do they not have time enough in life to be able to reflect on the things that they personally probably even want for themselves and are chasing and running after it, trying to accomplish it? And as I personally reflected on that, and as I personally took that exercise for myself, I could personally write 46 moments when I felt really happy, right from my childhood till date. And I could recollect approximately 48 moments when I felt most loved, starting right from my childhood till today. And of course, there might have been moments which I'm not able to recollect, which I had not been able to recollect and remember and put it down on paper, which made me curious and which made me question as to why is it so difficult for us to write 100 moments wherein we personally felt happy, wherein happiness was a personal experience and we can actually be specific about it, wherein feeling loved is a personal experience that I can get personal about it and that I can personally write what it felt for me, what it meant for me, which made me go back to the evolution of humankind. Now, if we look at our evolution, which is approximately 3 million years old, our brain, our nervous system, and our body has essentially been designed for survival. And if its primary fundamental function is to help us survive, well, then quite naturally, it's not designed for happiness, for joy, and for well being. It's not designed to thrive. It's a super intelligent system that has been doing its job for the last approximately 3 million years to enable our species to live and continue to live for 3 million years. And that system, that nervous system, that muscular system is still intact within all of us. It still keeps a very vigilant eye on a very subconscious, unconscious level as to what will not eat us up, what will not kill us, and what we can kill and what we can accomplish, what we can hunt down to be able to survive the next day, this day. And it's subconsciously and unconsciously doing its job 24/7 throughout our lifetimes. Which is why we also know that our subconscious and our nervous system to a great degree has a negativity bias. That it will pick up cues that it feels might endanger us, might threaten us, can be dangerous for us. And that is why happiness researchers also tell us that in order to negate one negativity, we at least need 3 to 4 positive aspects. We at least need that ratio of 3:1 to counteract one negative bias or one negative thought. And in my understanding, even when we say it's a negative thought or a feeling or an emotion, we are already having a negative bias towards it. We are reiterating the fact that it's a negative thing rather than a survival instinct, rather than a thought, a feeling, and a reaction that's just trying to help us survive. So imagine then if there's a group of 4 people who unconsciously and subconsciously are operating on an everyday basis, which again is a normal reaction, a normal response for survival. Every individual, for one negative thought, will have to bring in at least 3 to 4 positive thoughts, which means that within a framework of 4 people, at least 12 to 16 positive thoughts, 12 to 16 positive feelings and emotions will have to be deliberately, consciously brought up to be able to counteract or counterbalance 4 relatively negative or survival driven thoughts, feelings, and emotions. And since we are biopsychosocial creatures, most of us feel happy, feel joyful when we feel belonged and when we feel well connected. Most of us experience and feel happiness, joy, well-being, love through a sense of belonging within our interpersonal connections, that we are able to connect with ourselves on a very personal level. It is through these safe containments wherein we can be our free authentic selves, our true authentic selves, wherein we are not needed to project an image that will either be accepted or be rejected. The containment itself feels so safe that the whole of us is accepted. Of course, that comes with the understanding that acceptance does not mean that everything gets pushed under the carpet, but acceptance with boundaries and the negotiation of boundaries that creates that safe container, which then leads to happiness, joy, well-being, and the feeling of being connected, the feeling of feeling loved and belonged. And this reflection also made me then realize that happiness is truly a choice. And since once again reiterating the fact that we are biopsychosocial creatures, our happiness also depends upon the choices that we make in life. With regards to our social connections, with regards to the social interactions, which has an impact both on our personal psyche as well as our interpersonal psyche and our energy levels, which then gets translated onto the physiological, the physical levels, making a conscious, deliberate choice to choose our environments wisely, to keep assessing the interactions within the inner and the outer circles, is a choice that comes with accountability and responsibility that we then cannot negate. So, our nervous system might not naturally be dispositioned towards happiness, towards joy, towards well being, towards love, towards connection. But then it's a deliberate, conscious choice that we make for ourselves. And of course, since every choice has its consequences, since every choice is a responsibility, even the choice of choosing our happiness, our joy, our well being will not come without consequences. For that's the natural law of nature. So let's try to really think about all of those things. And I will see you once again the next week. Till then, stay tuned in. And guys, if you do like the contextual content of these videos, please do like, share, and subscribe.